it could be Skinwalker Ranch. Because
Yeah.
On the one hand, if you read the old accounts, supposedly they saw a portal open up on Skinwalker Ranch with a Bigfoot humanoid walk out of it. That's wild. Thanks for coming back to Bigfoot Society, your weekly cryptozoology focused podcast where I talk to a different individual in the cryptozoology field, authors, researchers, artists, all sorts of people. If you're listening to this on iTunes, please go ahead, subscribe to this podcast and rate us 5 stars, as it helps us get more into the podcast stratosphere and get better guests on the show. Also, if you're on YouTube, do us a favor, like this video and subscribe to this channel. It doesn't cost a thing, and it helps us get out there into the YouTube stratosphere as well. Be sure to leave what your favorite part of the episode was in the comment. Welcome back to another episode of the Bigfoot Society podcast. This week, I have the privilege of talking to a new friend, Jack Kirby from Paranormality Magazine. This is a fun interview talking all about what goes on behind the scenes of getting this great magazine out to the public every single month, about working with many different content creators to make it all happen. And we get to talk about some pretty crazy stuff. Jack tells us about what he really feels Bigfoot is, and that just puts us on a tangent that you will not be expecting. This is an episode that you will not want to miss. Goes into a lot of places that Bigfoot Society has not gotten down before, rabbit trail wise. And so just sit back, relax, get something to drink or a snack, or listen to this on a run if that's your deal too. You know who you are. And have a great time. Thanks again for listening to this week's episode of Bigfoot Society with Jack Kirby from Paranormality Media /magazine. All right, well, thanks for coming back to the Bigfoot Society podcast. I've got a new friend with me, Mr. Jack Kirby from Paranormality Media, or you may have heard of Paranormality Magazine as well. Jack, how's it going?
It's going great, Jeremiah. How you doing?
Oh man, I'm doing good on this kind of stormy Midwest day, but that's the kind of ones we like. Jack, let's start out with kind of talking a little bit about who you are for our listeners that might be new to you. So this is from your bio here. So Jack has a love for the Fortean, especially when it comes to anything alien and time travel. He grew up in a very, very small town with not much to do other than to go hunting for haunted places and searching for cryptids. When Jack was 22, he accidentally bought a haunted building. After selling the building, Jack took a long break from the weird and unknown. In 2018, he started listening to some paranormal podcasts, my apologies, which re-inspired his passion for the Fortean. From there, Jack went on to create Paranormality Media, and this is why I have this in my hands today. Just came in.
I am so glad that...
Oh, man. It's so good. It is so good.
Thank you. I am so glad you got that.
It was like the best time, like USPS pulls through. It's 10 times. Like, I knew it was a good. I've seen parts of it before, but man, I'm just going to talk about your magazine for a few minutes, if that's all right, before we get into questions. This thing is legit and well put together, my friend. Like, this is amazing. So I used to think that. So if you're listening to the Bigfoot Society podcast, there's a few things you need to definitely be subscribed to. And this Paranormality Magazine is on the list right now. The other thing was Bigfoot Times from Daniel Perez. That's like a no-brainer if you're a Bigfoot guy or a gal. But this guy, oh my goodness. So you're going through, there's all sorts of stuff in this one. And I love how every cover it's drawn by Mr. Sam Sharon, which is amazing. You've got cryptid stuff in here. You've got amazing articles. You know, my friend Jordan Heath wrote an article about Lizard Man Escape or Swamp. He's from the Campfire Podcast. It's a great podcast. We got an article this month about Liminal Earth guys and gal, which I'm talking to them later. Those guys are amazing on TikTok. from Nick Valenzuela. I know I mispronounced that. I'm sorry, buddy. Also, I can't forget my good friend Aaron Dees from Hey Strangeness with the cover article on Lyle Blackburn. So good, so well written. But man, it's not much. You gotta like pick up this magazine. If you want to keep up to date with what the top podcasts are, there's always a monthly like top 10 paranormal podcasts user voted on, so you get to know what's the good stuff. I also didn't know you put a little list in this magazine about like upcoming Bigfoot festivals and paranormal festivals, and that is really cool, man. Do you always do that, or?
Yeah, that's an every month thing.
Oh man,
We want to know. We want to let people know what's going on.
dude, I love it. Oh
You
man.
know, there's really not one single place where you can go to find all these different events. So I actually created a feature on my website where you can do that. You can go in, put all your events in all in one place. So go into the magazine.
So cool. So cool. Oh man. So let's start, Jack, with this. I am so paranoid that I'm gonna call you Jake. I'm just gonna speak that out into the open, but I'm focusing that I will call you Jack, all right?
Hold on, just
All right.
I am so sorry.
Oh, you're good. You're good, man. For the listeners, Jack is incognito. He's doing he's multitasking right now. He's gonna jump back in for a few minutes. After a few minutes, he's waiting to do some stuff, but we're gonna roll with the punches on this for sure. I will take a few minutes to talk. If there's anyone in the Patreon can watch this live, so they're seeing all the stuff. No one's watching right now, but if you guys are watching this, make sure you click on the StreamYard link so I can see what your name is. All right, Jack, we're back at it again. How's it going, buddy?
It is going good. I am so
Oh,
sorry. I am on my phone,
oh,
and my wife just tried to call me,
oh,
and
no
it
sweat.
totally
No sweat.
messed up everything. So I'm sorry.
Oh, way more important. Believe it or not, you're not the first person that I've interviewed in a truck before. First being Tate Hieronymus, the world famous Tate Hieronymus, of course. But let's talk about. So, let's say that I haven't heard of Paranormality Media, Magazine. How do you explain to people what Paranormality Media is? Let's start there.
So Paranormality Media is actually the parent company of Paranormality Magazine, but we
Okay.
also have Paranormality Radio, which is
Mm,
a list of just paranormal, cryptid, conspiracy podcasts that you
okay.
can play right on the website.
Mm. Oh, that's cool, man. This is stuff I actually didn't know that. I'm gonna have to go check that out. I love that. That is very very cool.
Yeah,
Yeah, go ahead.
podcasters can actually go in, put in their podcast, fill out the information, and then they'll get put on the website.
That is so cool. Uh, Talking about Paranormality Magazine, what's the main goal you want to see come across from people that read the magazine? What is the main thing that you hope that they take away from reading it?
Well, I really hope that they take away the fact that you can get a little bit of everything. So, say you're not into cryptids, but you're into UFOs. You can get that. You can get ghost stories. You can get a lot of different things. And I think because it was created for everyone,
Mm,
um, that's the takeaway. And you always learn something new, or there's always something different that someone's talking about.
that's awesome.
Uh, Jordan Heath actually does this really awesome article every month about a different cryptid that you might never have heard of.
Which Jordan, my goodness, it's the perfect guy to do it because of the stuff that he's writing for Campfire, their podcast. It's like I'm blown away that you got the people to be involved with this magazine that you did? Is there like a story like, the beginning of the Avengers movies where like, good old Sam Jackson had to go around and gather up all the Avenger team? Did you have to do that? And like, or did these people come to you? Like, is there a story behind that?
So yeah, there is. I put out some feelers that I was looking for some writers for the magazine to initially interview podcasts or
Mm,
podcasters, because that's how the magazine originally started out, was a podcast magazine.
okay.
And then it just evolved into what it is now. And I was doing some feelers, and I found Cody Turk,
Mm-hmm.
and he was writing for us. He still does. Uh, but he's the one who actually kind of went in and did the Sam Jackson thing and got everybody together.
Okay. All right. All right.
Yeah. So it was really cool. He introduced me to like
Because
everybody.
yeah, I like to put in uh my different interviews. If it's a person that makes something or is involved with making something, there's probably people listening that are like, "Oh, I've got this idea for a magazine or like a zine or something." Do you have any advice for people that might, be inspired by looking at Paranormality Magazine and like things they would want to keep in mind or know as they maybe they try to print their own thoughts on the page?
So, you know, I encourage everybody to just do it. If you wanna start a magazine, you
Mm,
wanna start a zine, don't hesitate. Just do it.
okay.
Like that's what we did. We had the idea, we thought about it, we figured out how to do it, we did it, and we put it out there. So just that's how you got to start. You just put it out there. It might be crap. Like it might be crap the first time, but that's okay, because I mean, if you look back at ours, I don't think ours were ever crap. But they have seen a very good improvement over the past year. And so you're going to grow. You're going to grow with your audience. And
Mm,
so just do it.
I love it. Man, I love it. Like, yeah, you know how it is looking back at your original first creations, and you're like, oh man, and or I know I am, but it sounds like you're much better than me. But uh first Bigfoot societies are pretty rough. Um, but I love them. I love them for sure. Can you take me behind the scenes of what it takes monthly to get an issue out of this magazine?
Oh man,
Gotta be
it
wild.
takes. It is. It's wild. So first off, I love my team of writers.
Mm,
They are absolutely amazing. They are the ones who put this magazine together, um, and it is a grueling process. I let them choose their own topics, because
well,
uh, you're not gonna want to write something if you don't want to write it, and that's what makes the magazine so interesting. They get to write what they want.
that's awesome.
And so we have a meeting every month, and we kind of literally discuss what's going into the issue.
Okay.
Uh, they send it to me, and I literally, in a matter of 4 days, put it together about 5 or 6 different ways.
Wow.
And then now, since we've moved on to this print, where we were distributing print editions,
Right.
uh, it made it a little more stressful this time, because we had to get it to print so we could get it to the back by a certain date to put it out. But yeah, that's pretty much the month.
Oh man. That's
Like
wild.
the majority of it happens, other than the writing team, because they're researching, for a while on the stories. But like for the actual putting it together in the magazine, it's done in about 4 days, uh, and they're good 8-hour days.
Wow.
So
Oh man. Are you the one who like does all the layout of the magazine then?
yes,
Wow. It looks good, man.
thank you.
What do you use to lay that out? What program do you use?
I use InDesign,
Okay.
Adobe InDesign.
Okay. Very cool. Very cool. So, what is we'll talk about it probably at the end too, but what is what's the way that people can get Paranormality Magazine? Is it a thing where they have to send away for, or can you get it in stores, or what's the easiest way?
The easiest way is you can go to paranormalitymag.com and you can buy it from our online store. There's a digital copy and a print copy available. And then we are in a store. We are in
Nice.
World of Weird in Richwood, West Virginia.
I
So you
love
can
it.
go there and get a copy if you're in that area.
Man. That's cool.
We are going to be in a few other stores probably here soon. So
I love it, dude. Is that the Dave Spinks one?
yeah.
Okay. Cool.
Yeah, Dave Spinks, World of the Weird. Yeah.
I love it. Have there been any interesting things that have come out of Paranormality Magazine being in existence? Any interesting things that wouldn't have happened?
Oh, like so much actually.
I'm trying to lead you into one through my mind power, but we'll see if you get the mind waves. But I'm curious if you have any other ideas too.
So yeah, like if I wouldn't have created this magazine and got everybody involved, I wouldn't have met this great group of people that I know now, and I'm still meeting. And this is a wonderful community.
Oh, it is.
And we did an article on Jeremiah. Actually, if your listeners haven't already seen it 100,000 times,
for sure. And that is my first article in a printed magazine, I believe. So you have the privilege of that. That is the Micah Hanks issue from February of 2022. So
yes, and yeah, because I really like what you're doing. I saw how you're building these communities, and it's amazing. And I really like that, and I like to show that off.
Thank you, Jack. That means a lot. I really appreciate that. The thing that I'm trying to lead you to, I'm going to lead you to it a little bit. And this is you've actually really affected the cryptozoology community through Paranormality Magazine and one of your writers, Aaron. There's this whole thing that's come out about the renaming of the chupacabra.
Oh yes,
Dude,
yes.
that's a big, like, that could have far-reaching effects, like 50, 60 years down the road. It might be a thing where it's like people will say, "Oh yeah, Texas Pterodog. That's what it's been called forever," right?
Right.
It totally could happen.
Right. That you're absolutely right. Yeah, Aaron came with me to that idea, and I was like, well, let's promote it through the magazine and get that out there.
For sure.
And get some reach to it. And what's really cool is that these people like Lyle Blackburn and David Weatherly and I forget who else have endorsed that and said, Texas Pterodog, hell yeah, we're using it.
It's so good, man. It's so good. Oh man, I actually now that you say David Weatherly, I kind of want to check out his when his Texas book comes out, and I wonder if he puts a little mention of it, and that would actually be really cool. We'll see if that happens, but you never know.
I don't know. It depends on if he's already written it, because he did say
that's true.
With his interview with Aaron that he has 4 books written, just waiting to go out.
I hope one of them's the Iowa one for sure. Oh man. Good stuff. Good stuff. So before we get into the cryptid stuff, I like the part of your bio. It says you're into time travel.
Oh yeah.
Okay. So are we talking like, so this'll, which 80s movie time travel do you associate with best? How about that? That'll tell me a lot.
Well, I can tell you I know every line to Back to the Future.
Awesome.
I can have it on mute and I just know it. That and Ghostbusters.
Oh, legit. So what I guess I'm going to ask you, do you think it's a legit thing? Do you
I
think it
do.
actually happened?
I think we've already done it.
Ooh, okay. All right.
I think it's happened, within the last 5 years. I think that we've actually started trying to send people back in time,
Hmm.
and we've probably accomplished it and failed horribly. But yeah, I think it's out there, and it's a thing.
Man, it's wild to think about. Uh, and we may go on some crazy rabbit trails for a second here, but man, never know. Like we're doing some wild stuff in this world right now. Who knows the effects of like what CERN is doing? But dude,
Oh yeah,
whew, that's just actually starting up today again for like the first time in 3 years, I think, something like that. But you never know.
really,
Yeah.
I did not know that.
Oh yeah. Um, if you were, oh, how about this? If you were to time travel somewhere, where would you go?
Ooh, can I go into the past and the future, or just one?
Yeah, you can.
Okay. So in the future, I would literally go probably 1,000 years from now,
Ooh,
just to see what the world's like.
okay.
And then if I could go back in time, ooh, there is a lot of things I would love to see.
Hmm.
Um, if I had to pick, I think I would like to see the Gettysburg Address. I really think that would be the most awesome thing
That would be
to
legit.
have witnessed.
That would be legit, man. What I would do is I would go back with to October 20th, 1967. I'd probably bring Tate Hieronymus with me, maybe some other dudes, and we would go to Bluff Creek, California, and 100%, no doubt, we'd go there with a camera ourselves, and we would be hiding in the bushes, and we would get it. We would see what happened that day in '67 with Patty and Patterson and Bob Gimlin. Not even kidding. I'd do it. Um, there is a question that came in from our mutual friend Jordan Heath, and I want to make sure I get it. This is from Instagram about the magazine. It says, "How has your previous business experience helped prepare you for the magazine?" That's a good question.
Oh wow!
Yeah.
So previously, and not a lot of people know this,
Yeah.
I'm a hairstylist by trade.
Okay.
Um, so I owned 3 salons and worked with a lot of women, because it's the hair salon.
Sure.
That's where they work. So I really learned how to just be so chill with everything, just take everything in and just have fun with it.
Mm,
And so that's kind of the idea with how I go into the magazine and the people. I'm like, I just want to have fun. And I think that's another reason why it's so successful is because it's just fun.
that's awesome.
But yeah, but being able to just because you can only imagine working with a bunch of women, pretty much 8 hours a day for the whole week, and then going home to women.
Yep.
Yeah, so it was a hard thing. I had to learn how to just like be like, oh my god, and just brush it off and be like, I'm just having fun with this.
That's right. Yeah. At the end of the day, whatever you're doing, just have fun with it. I love that.
Hmm.
Oh man, I never would have. I never would have. That's a great question. Thank you, Jordan, for putting that in.
Yeah.
Um, let's go in. So we were talking prior to the start of this that you grew up in small town America. Do you have any interesting stories about when you were looking for cryptids or being in getting into looking for cryptids, things like that from your start there?
So, like I said, we grew up in a very, very small town. It was about 400 people.
Wow.
So there really wasn't anything to do. It's not like we had a nightclub or. anything like that. We didn't even have a general store when I was growing up. So you would either go into the next town, which was about 15 miles away, or you would stay at home. So me and some friends, we got to talking, and we started talking about paranormal stuff, and then we started talking about cryptid stuff. And we discovered the giant birds of central Illinois.
Yes.
And we didn't live but maybe 45 minutes from Jerseyville.
Okay.
And that's where the, I forget what Indian tribe it was, but they painted the giant bird.
Oh, the Pious.
Yeah. So that legend's been around for so long that the Indian tribes have seen these giant birds. And then there's been accounts of like a child, I think, saw one fly in his backyard, picked something up, and took off with it. But yeah, so that's the first thing we started doing was we started driving down there, kind of checking out all the legends.
Awesome.
And I think honestly, in the back of our minds, we were 17, 18 at the time. So I think in the back of our minds, I think we were thinking, well, this is a giant bird. How hard can it be to find a giant bird?
Right. Yeah.
And no, we traveled through the woods. We hiked. We found a lot of crazy stuff. Got bit by a couple snakes.
Oh no.
Yeah, that sucked.
Oh no.
But yeah, we were, we were looking for giant birds, and we never found any, unfortunately. I think if I would have known about Hollow Earth back then, I would have changed my thinking on where to look.
Oh, okay. Yep.
Yeah.
Look down in the caves or something like that.
Yeah.
Yeah, that's some wild stuff right there, man. After watching a few movies, caves are not for me. That's not my thing, dude. You can have all the caves you want, but I'm not going near them. Freaky stuff. Some like Gollum stuff, Well, Gollum from Lord of the Rings is fine, but there's one out there where it's like the Gollum creatures in West Virginia, and I think it's called The Descent or something. That is not a fun movie. Oh
yeah. Yeah.
Unless you're into it. But is there a cryptid right now that you wish more people got hyped up for?
After reading Jordan's last article, or not the one that's in this month's issue, because we've already got next month's issues out, so that's what I'm thinking about.
Oh, nice.
But the one in this issue about the lizard man,
yeah,
I really want to check that out. So next month, I'm actually going up to Whitville for the UFO convention, or in June. I keep thinking it's May. Well, it's almost May. But yeah, so we're going up there for that. So I think on the way, I might take a stop in North Carolina to kind of check that out.
That would.
So I think that's something that people should look into, or the lizard people.
It leads me into the lizard man is a good one. I also think Squonk needs a little love as well. He's been crying too much up in Pennsylvania. But does Paranormality Magazine, are they making their ways around to the festivals? Can we see you guys at the different festivals, or what are we thinking about that?
Yeah. So June, we're going to be June 4th in Punta Gorda, Florida, for their Southwest Bigfoot Skunk Ape festival. And then the next Saturday is the 11th. That's in Whitville, Virginia.
Okay.
August 6th, we're going to be at Cryptid Bash.
Nice.
And then so far, October 14th and 15th, we're in, I think it's Logan, West Virginia, for a convention there.
Man, awesome. When so people, are you guys gonna have like a swag or merch, or is it more like meeting people, or what can people expect when they see you at these things?
So what we're going to do is we're going to have our little magazine racks up,
Okay.
so people can come in, check out the magazine. We're going to have back issues there for sale, and then we might have T-shirts. But
Nice.
depending on the venue, I know at the Skunk Ape Bigfoot conference in Florida here, Chaz of the Dead is going to be there with me.
Mm-hmm.
Uh, so he writes for the magazine.
Yep.
So you'll be able to meet him. And then I know at Cryptid Bash, you'll be able to talk and meet with Aaron, Mr. Sam Sheeran. He's gonna be there.
That's wild.
So you can meet the person who creates the covers, the amazing covers, I should say. They blow my mind.
They're so
every
good.
time.
They're so good. The one of Lyle I'm looking at right now, it's like it's a picture. It's so well done.
So can you get online?
Yeah.
Right now? Check
Sure.
out paranormalitymag.com. Today I just actually put on the May's issue. I got the cover art up for it, so check that out. That blew my mind. I was like, that is some amazing creepy work.
All right, let me take a look here. Oh, wow. That is some creepy stuff. Man, you got a little... Okay, so if you want a sneak peek, go over to paranormalitymag.com. Check it out. Get ready to be freaked out, though.
It's our 13th issue.
Oh, man.
So, yeah. So what we have a very superstitious-based issue this month.
Yikes. Oh.
So, yeah, instead of the top 10, there's a top 13.
Oh, there you go. Okay.
Yeah.
That's fun.
The top 13 superstitions.
I love it.
So, yeah, that's awesome.
I want to point out that you are doing this. This is because you're actually driving right now, right?
Yeah.
You are doing a fantastic job in this interview for like safety first, but man, like you're killing it. Because I would be scatterbrained for sure. So I am curious. Do you have any favorite cryptid books from over the years? I always like to ask people, like, what's on your bookshelf? Like, I guess since you're a paranormal guy, there could be non-cryptid books too. But what kind of cool stuff do you have on your bookshelf?
Oh, so on my bookshelf, I have Haunted Illinois by Troy Taylor, because I'm from Illinois.
Yep. Okay.
He's great paranormal author. I really honestly just started buying cryptid books.
Okay.
So when I was at the Bigfoot conference in Lakeland, I met up with Lyle.
Nice.
I picked up a couple of his books, started reading those, because I really wasn't into cryptozoology as much.
Okay.
And it really, since Jordan joined the team and started writing, and it's kind of got me thinking. So
nice. Love it.
So yeah, I've been getting some of those. Let's see, who else do I have? Mark Mankey. He's Erie, Florida.
Oh yeah. Yep.
Books. Yeah.
Books. Good books, dude. Mark is a solid dude. He's fun to talk to too, man.
He's a
fun guy to chat with. He's got stories galore.
He's got an upcoming book that's going to be out in June, and we're doing an article with him. So,
cool.
Yeah, that's going to be pretty cool.
Dude, I'm loving it. Something to look forward for sure. I think it's on Appalachian stuff, right? Is that something like that? Yeah.
Yeah.
Yep.
It let's see. I do believe it comes out like June 20th.
Okay.
So yeah, we're gonna get it in the June or July issue. It's July or June 20th. I don't know.
Yes. So let's get into we're gonna get into the hot seat a little bit. So here we go. We made it halfway through, and you're driving safely, but now things are gonna heat up. So I like to ask everyone I talk to what they think. What is Bigfoot to them?
Bigfoot?
Yeah.
Oh, I love this question.
All right, because it could be anything,
So,
dude.
yeah. No, so Bigfoot honestly reminds me of Chewbacca,
Oh, okay.
right? And at one point in time, I read something, and it just slips my mind who right now, but they were talking about George Lucas and Star Wars,
Mm-hmm.
uh, and he asked the guy, "Did George Lucas get any of them right?" And he's like, "Yeah, one,"
Oh no.
and it was the Wookiee.
No way.
Yeah. And so I'm sure you can Google search it. It was, yeah, some guy talking about that, how that
So there's
one,
actually I have an interview with oh dang it. This is terrible. Jody Cook from
oh,
North
yeah,
American Dogman Project, and he tells me a story in that interview. I think it's the same one you're talking about, because I'm gonna leave it there because listeners need to check it out. But it has to do with Dogman, the military, and then it gets into wild stuff that has to do with what Jack just said. It's gonna blow your mind. But that's on YouTube. You can check it out. Um, that also,
Jody actually did an interview with Aaron. It's,
yes, yes.
yeah,
Um,
that's on the Paranormality YouTube.
it's some solid interviews because you guys have like a membership thing as well, right?
Um, we did, but
Okay.
then we moved it more towards a subscription base for the magazine.
Okay, gotcha. Okay, cool.
So, yeah,
Cool. So because you've got Aaron had that interview with Seth Breedlove, which is wild
yeah,
because he hears the tree knock in the interview when Seth is out doing Bigfoot project stuff. It blew my mind. Such a good interview, dude. But I'm gonna swing around. I'm gonna refocus. So far, what I have out from you, Jack, is Bigfoot is Chewbacca.
extraterrestrial.
Oh,
Yeah, well, yeah,
okay.
just Bigfoot's an extraterrestrial,
All right.
or possibly interterrestrial, living in hollow earth.
Oh,
I don't really think that more so than I think
okay.
extraterrestrial more than I do hollow earth.
Okay, so extraterrestrial from another planet, intraterrestrial, you're talking about like something inside the Earth.
Yeah.
Okay. That's cool. Both of those I want to say are those are first times for the podcast. So that's pretty awesome actually to have that viewpoint. Is there any evidence, anything you've read that led you to think of those positions, or just kind of a feeling as you've gone along that you're thinking that's how it is?
Well, there's those accounts where the footprints just stop.
Ah,
Where do they go? Um, and I would assume if a race of people can travel across the galaxy
mm,
and come to Earth to check it out, they'll know how to disguise their spaceship.
right.
So, I mean, who knows? There could have been a door, got on the spaceship. They could have gotten to a police call box. Who knows?
That is true. That's true. Or we could be talking, we're gonna go rabbit hole style here. So it could be Skinwalker Ranch because
Yeah.
on the one hand, if you read the old accounts, supposedly they saw a portal open up on Skinwalker Ranch with a Bigfoot humanoid walk out of it. That's wild. And if you watch the new TV show that's on, one of the networks, Discovery or History or whatever, uh, they think that there's like some UFO or something buried in the ground or up on the ridge or something at Skinwalker Ranch. Some wilds I could see, maybe some extraterrestrial or inner Earth Bigfoot stuff happening out of there, or maybe even Mount Shasta. There's some crazy stuff happening in Mount Shasta. Bigfoot coming up
Yes.
the mountain and stuff, UFOs. Who knows? My goodness. Mm.
I mean, yeah, Skinwalker Ranch fascinates me. And if I ever had the chance to buy a piece of property that just touched Skinwalker Ranch, I would.
Dude. Oh, I don't
in
know.
a heartbeat.
Nuts. That would be cool though. Oh, it'd be really cool. But it's like people get messed up physically around there. It's almost like a not joking around thing.
Right.
Yeah.
But I think that's only on the property though. But if you live like catty corner and you like put
okay.
and you put up, cameras and stuff.
Yeah,
I think you'd be okay.
Yeah.
I mean, I would never go on their property without permission because,
sure.
I'm sure they'll shoot you. But yeah, I saw the show, and I think there might be something buried under the ground there.
Yeah. Well, at the end of the day, it's private property. You better keep off of it or be prepared for consequences. And what those consequences are, who knows? But you don't mess. Private property. I'm kidding. Okay, we're still here. Good. Do you have a favorite piece of Bigfoot evidence from over the years that you've?
I do not.
Okay.
So, I went down to Big Muddy in Illinois to search for Sasquatch.
Oh.
And I never really saw anything, but that was before I learned stuff like they like to go around rivers and lakes and, be around water and
Yep.
Stuff that I just didn't know at the time. So, and then the last time that I'd planned on going was out to Mayaca State Park here in Florida.
Okay.
And see if I could search for the Mayaca monster.
Okay.
But it rained like crazy that weekend and the park was flooded.
Oh man. Let's swing back. That's very interesting. So at a point in your life, you went to look for the Big Muddy Monster. Of course, I believe that's from Murfreesboro, Illinois.
Yep.
The community has really they've really embraced that cryptid, which is awesome. But can you tell me a little bit more about how you were looking around for that cryptid or anything, any memories you had from that adventure?
I mean, we were like 17, 18.
Oh, okay.
And we really didn't take it seriously.
Mm-hmm.
We were just, young and having fun. And it was,
Yeah.
But once I got older and like got into my early 20s and I started actually reading about stuff, like getting in depth. Yeah, that was pretty.
So that's interesting. So are we talking? Let's do. We'll keep it vague. But are we talking? Is that 90s? Is that 80s? 2000s? You can keep it vague, but like I'm trying to get the history. You know what I'm saying?
So 17, 18 would have been 97, 98.
Okay, cool. So we're very close. We're actually we're almost dead on. Similar. So now my question is, because that is way before the Chad Lewis book. So how did you at that point, before pre-internet and all that stuff, or the crazy internet, how was it that you heard about the Big Muddy Monster at that point in history in the late 90s?
So I was never really good at going on to like the internet back then, but my friend was. And he found these forum boards.
Nice. Okay.
Because at that point in time, he was way more into it than I was.
Yeah.
It was one of those things that I thought, oh, this would be cool. I'll go with you. If we see something, it's like, the white guy in the movies are like, I'll totally go into that haunted house right there.
What's the worst that?
Yeah. Right. So that was me. But yeah, no, he found some forum boards back then on like an IRC chat.
Wow. Yeah. Oh man, that's old school. That's like some X-Files lone gunman stuff, dude.
Yes, I mean he would come over to my house and spend like at least 4 or 5 hours just on my computer just looking stuff up.
Wow.
And then he would do all the research, tell me what we were looking for, and I'm like, okay, let's go.
Dude, what's he up to today, man? I bet he got into some crazy stuff, but maybe we can't talk about it. But probably like, oh man, who knows? Anyways, Do you have any thoughts about Dogman?
I haven't really done a lot of
Okay,
research into Dogman, to be
that's all right.
honest. So, yeah.
That Dogman's some weird stuff, though. I mean, oh, that's a
So, what is Dogman exactly?
so it's
It's
like imagine, like the whole werewolf stuff, right?
oh yeah, I love
Like that's the
that.
picture.
Is
That's the picture you got in your head. But he doesn't turn into a human. It's like he's like a bipedal uh wolf head, but super jacked, like super muscular. It's super bad attitude all the time. Like he'll mess you up. That's what we're looking.
ah
Yeah, so like the one of the big legends is in the 1980s in Land Between the Lakes, Kentucky, that area, there was a family that went out camping and they were actually attacked and murdered by Dogman in that area. Now, this is a thing where like no one can find newspaper reports on it, and so maybe this is just a story that's been passed down, but it has become into a huge legend, and you can find many people that claim to interview witnesses or people that are related to that scenario, or people. There's people like Hellbent Holler that actually go out into that area searching for dogmen, find thermal images. It's kind of like, you know, how Bigfoot was huge during finding Bigfoot. It's almost like this is the new big thing in a way, is like, dogman attacks and all that wild stuff. So, yeah, if you want to be
that
freaked
is
out, check it out.
that is very interesting because that kind of goes back to the lizard man,
Mm,
where like creatures like that, I feel are some kind of possible genetic mutation gone wrong.
oh,
That because God knows what our government does, but
true.
or or you had some like with the lizard man,
Okay.
could be a reptilian alien who mated with a human, but it went a little feral.
It went a little weird.
So I mean, yeah, I think Dogman, into this, but I think stuff like that is more created in lab.
Mm, yeah. Part of me is like, I hope that none of that stuff is real. But the
Is
chances of
true,
something
yeah.
weird being real is so like there's got to be some of that stuff has got to be real. It just
Well,
it's
when
got
you
to.
have so many people's accounts of so many different, sightings of the same thing, there's no way that it's fake. I mean,
Exactly.
there's got to be
Yeah.
some truth to it.
All the Bigfoot reports, all the UFO reports, like it's crazy, man.
Oh, I know. Like, so do I believe Bigfoot is real? Yeah, that's probably one of the cryptids that I absolutely 100% believe is real,
I was gonna ask you.
because there's been so many sightings, so many different variations. And if you think of it as an alien race, okay,
Mhm.
like you have picture humans. We have different races, different skin colors, different sizes, different fat.
Exactly.
Yeah, Bigfoot has the same thing.
Mm,
Sasquatch is the same. I mean, you have the skunk ape. It's a little different than these, than the Yeti, than these northeastern Sasquatch.
exactly.
So,
To flip it, is there a cryptid that you feel is definitely the chances are probably pretty low of it being really super real? You know what I mean?
right.
Yeah. Or is there one that's like, that just feels a little bit too out there?
Ah, I don't really know. I
All
mean,
right.
that's a. I don't know enough about cryptids to really know that I would absolutely say for 100% sure that's not real.
I'll share the one that I always think of is is that the rake one?
Oh,
Part
yeah,
of it is
that's
like, I know it because it's just a creepypasta from the internet, but it's like over the years, it's made it's a legend, and it's like, come to life pretty much. But it's like, I really hope it's not real, because I don't want in the national parks, like, that's the story. In the national parks, you have all these things running around, and that's why people disappear. I really don't want that to be real, because my goodness,
no,
national
yeah.
parks are wild enough without that stuff. But yeah, for sure. Oh man, super super crazy. Last question I want to ask you in the main show is, thinking over all the issues that you've done. Is there an article or something that, like, really stands out to you, that's like, oh, that was just like so amazing, and it makes me putting the magazine together worth it, that this is out in the world, like something that's oh man, that's like my baby.
So basically, you're asking me to choose one article out of the
Or
magazine.
that's true.
Yeah,
Kind of.
yeah,
Yeah, I got you. Maybe not.
yeah. No, but no, there are a lot of. So the topics that I enjoy the most, though, are the UFO. So I would say,
Ah,
Chaz reaches me in a way that I like that kind of stuff. So
mhm.
whereas I find Jordan's articles very, very intriguing and interesting, and then all the interviews, I love to learn about these people. So
So good. So good. And the great thing about this magazine is, you can come you can come at the magazine from a different, I want to say, there's different facets of paranormal, and you can learn something uh about the different, like, let's say you're into cryptids, you don't really know UFOs. You read this magazine and you can learn something about the other guys or gals that you might not know, because you're always reading Bigfoot books. But like, you read this magazine, you're going to learn about UFOs, about cryptids, about all sorts of weird stuff, about ghosts. So that is another great reason to definitely pick up the Paranormality magazine. But I just wanted to say, Jack, thank you so much for coming on. You are gonna stay on for the, we do an after show with the Patreon members, patreon.com/the Bigfoot Society. And we're gonna talk about some other stuff. So Jack, I want you to be prepared. I'm gonna ask you there's gonna be the crazy question. It's gonna be like owning the haunted house when you were 22. I want to get
oh
that
yeah,
story in the after show. You know what I'm saying? So
oh
we're gonna
yeah.
talk about that and some good stuff. But uh Jack, do you mind running through again for the listeners how they can keep up to date best with the magazine, and how they can get a copy for themselves and all that good stuff?
So the main social media I'm on right now, and it's because I'm horrible at social media. I really am. And that's Instagram, and it's linked to my Facebook. So I guess you can do the message from Facebook, and it transfers over, I guess. But Instagram is honestly where you can find me. And then to pick up a copy of the magazine or just read some other cool articles that we post on our website, go to paranormalitymag.com.
Nice. Nice. And you guys have you got some solid shirts. Like, you had the Jonathan Dodge shirt, was pretty awesome. With
And yeah, we have the Jonathan Dodd, and then we have this one right here. It's the Idle Hands.
yeah. So
Uh, yeah, so we have those online too for sale. They're
fantastic.
$15 each.
Heck yes. So thank you again, Jack, for coming on. Guys, head on out to the internet land and pick up a copy of Paranormality Magazine, because at the end of the day, it's cool to be able to hold something in your hands that talks about stuff that you love. And like, I mean, there's an ad for Cryptid Bash in there as well, which is like so cool to see it in something that you can hold and not just like in your phone, right? So I dig that.
So I will tell you something about that.
Oh heck yes.
That the issue that you're holding
Yeah.
has the first poster. The issue
Yeah.
that's coming out is going to have the second poster.
Nice. Oh, I love it.
So
That
And
is,
then the next issue will have the third.
yeah,
So yeah, you have a little collector's item there.
I love that. I love it. Oh man, thank you so much, Jack, for coming on. And have a good night. And thank you for listening, all. Thanks for listening to the Bigfoot Society podcast. Please take a few minutes to review the show on iTunes, 5 stars, as it does help us get into the eyes and ears of more listeners on iTunes. That will help us just get bigger and bigger and get even better quality guests for future shows. Also, if you have any Bigfoot encounters or cryptid encounters, please send your stories and audio and photos, whatever you've got, over to bigfootsociety@gmail.com. If you'd like to become more involved with Bigfoot Society and get some extra content, we do have a Patreon where you can get all sorts of cool things. For example, for $7 a month, you get extra Bigfoot Society content, usually interviews, but other things as well. You get a sweet membership card and a vinyl sticker that I send to you in the mail. You get access to the Bigfoot Society after show, which is an extra interview after the main interview with the weekly guest, and usually they are up for Patreon members to be in that extra show segment with them and me, and you get to ask your question live to them and get an answer from the guest, which, as you've seen what guest we've had in the past, this could be a really big deal. There's also a private Discord where you can get involved with talking to me one-on-one and the community there, and that's always a great time. You can find the Patreon at www.patreon.com/The Bigfoot Society. We're very thankful for all our supporters that we have in so many different ways, and appreciate all our listeners coming back week after week to listen to more cryptozoology-based interviews. Thanks so much for listening, and we'll see you next time. The views and opinions expressed are those of the guest and do not necessarily reflect the official policy or position of Bigfoot Society. Any content provided by our guests are not intended to malign any religion, ethnic group, club, organization, company, individual, or anyone. Thank you.